Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast, the Project Investigation Collaboration, brought to you by the Veritas Project. And as always, we're here with our gracious host and founder of the Veritas Project, Robert Curtis.
Hello.
And I'm lead investigator Todd Boyer, and welcome everybody.
Yeah, welcome back for round two.
Round two, yeah, unfortunately.
We had major camera issues with the show last time.
Yep, so we recorded on Saturday like we always do. Bob went to go edit it on Monday.
Yep.
And there was no sound, and it looked like we had recorded in slow motion.
Yeah.
So it ended up being pretty messed up. So
Pretty much garbage.
Here we are again, re-recording the exact same podcast that we recorded on Saturday.
Yeah, so if you listen to it on the TikTok, you get to hear it again.
You get to hear it again.
Maybe we have some different stuff to say about it this time.
Yep, maybe. I'm a little hoarse for some reason. I've started losing my voice over the weekend. But it's all good. We're going to get through this, and we'll get through. And so let's see. What did we talk about in our local news stuff? Oh, the fact that, so if you Google Xbox Connect Ghost videos, the first short that comes up, if you scroll past the regular videos to the shorts,
Is us.
Us.
On Google.
On Google, the first search result for shorts.
Yeah, how
on
about
Google. So that is awesome.
That's pretty cool, man.
That is one of the cool. Like, how many people can say that? You know what I mean? How many people can say that I'm number one on a Google search?
You Googled the thing, and then we showed up.
Yep, that is amazing. So, what else? You're getting a new truck.
Yep, I'm thinning my herd, my used car lot of vehicles that I have, thinning it down to one.
Nice. How are you getting rid of the rest of them?
Marketplace or
right
people,
on.
Anybody
Just
who wants
getting rid of them, huh?
Yeah. Like I can't keep paying almost $300 a month in insurance
Right.
on all my cars. It's ridiculous.
Let's see. Anything else? Let's see.
My car addiction is real.
That's an expensive addiction.
Yeah.
Well, you just trade them all in and get your motorcycle that you said you're going to buy this year.
They won't take it. They're over 10 years old.
But I'm saying once you sell them all off, you can go buy a motorcycle. Are you getting rid of the
Carmen Ghia?
The Carmen Ghia?
No.
Keeping that.
That's my plan, is to have the truck and the Carmen Ghia and then a bike,
Right on.
That's my plan.
Oh, I should not have left that. Okay. Stop.
Get rid of all the stuff.
Quiet.
Get rid of all the stuff.
Right.
I have a truck now. It's just old. It's old and rusty.
Yeah, you have the farm truck that you bought for
$600.
Yep, for cheap. So let's see. I don't really have anything going on. I mean, nothing really. Just working, doing my thing. So, like Bob said, welcome to round two of. We're going to talk about the different pyramids around the world and kind of similarities and
their placement.
Yep.
And how all that lines up.
Kind of interesting stuff. So let's start off with Africa. So the Nubians, or the Kushite civilization in the Sudan, they built over 200 pyramids for burials, mostly at Meroe and Napata. Once again, I'm going to fumble these names.
I don't know what the little dots over the E, does that mean something? Like Meroe, maybe?
Something like that. Yeah.
Meroe.
Robin says pyramids part 2. Which is a fact. So, in the Americas, we have the Olmecs, of course, from Mexico, and they built early pyramid-like mounds, influencing later civilization. The Maya civilization, they constructed step pyramids like those at Tikal and Polonik and the Chichen Itzu. The Teotihuacan civilization, I got that right this time.
Yeah, how about that?
They built the pyramids of the sun and pyramids of the moon.
Sorry.
I guess we both forgot to silence our stuff.
Yeah.
You have the Aztecs, and they built grand pyramids like Templo Mayor in
Tenochtitlan.
Yeah, Tenochtitlan. That's another wonderful name to pronounce. The Moche civilization in Peru, they constructed pyramid temples such as Huasca del Sol and Huaca de la Luna, which obviously is Temple of the Sun and Temple of the Moon.
Right.
And then the Chavín culture in Peru built early pyramid-like temple structures, and one that's near and dear to our heart and literally right up the road. And when Bob moves into his new house and we move to the new studio, we will literally be only a few miles from this location, as the crow flies, 2 miles or something like that, straight as the crow flies. The Mississippi culture here in the United States, and they constructed the Monk's Mound at Cahokia, and they are similar in form to the step pyramids.
Right.
Now in Asia, the Chinese dynasties, they built pyramid-like tombs, including the mausoleum of the first Qin Emperor, and Khmer Emperor. They built pyramid-style temples such as those of Angkor Wat and Indonesia. They constructed Borobudur, a step pyramid and Buddhist temple. And then in Europe, the ancient Greeks actually built small pyramid structures like the pyramids of Hellinikon, and the Romans constructed the pyramid of Sistius in Rome.
Yep.
So not just the Egyptians, they're actually all over the world.
Right. And that's what we said last time. It's the ley lines run right through. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or if that's how they drew the ley lines or whatever. But when you look at a map of ley lines, there's pretty much the Bermuda Triangle is where everything intersects. Mm-hmm. And then it goes out from there and it crosses through all of these sites. And they make a pattern of like a sun ray kind of pattern across all of the Americas.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that we're using, I know we don't get as much traction on TikTok Live Studio, which we started using last week.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool that whenever Robin does something, it says moderator, right in front of her name, really big.
Yeah.
It says moderator.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Kind of neat. So globally, the global distribution of the pyramids, they exist on almost every continent, including Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Americas. And the oldest pyramids are the step pyramids of Djoser in Egypt. They were built about 2630 BCE and is considered the first true pyramid structure. The only problem with that is Bob and I don't believe that.
Yeah, we don't.
We believe that the pyramids were actually made by an ancient civilization due to the fact of how they were constructed, how they fit together. I mean, the way they fit together is ridiculously perfect.
Yeah, for things that are the size of a school bus,
right,
and weigh as much as a aircraft, like a commercial jet. Like some dudes with sticks,
right,
and Bronze Age tools cut marble into the shape of a school bus,
right,
and then carried it from a quarry 60 miles away and put it in, stack them,
right,
in place, like. Oh, that's obviously legit.
Yeah. It's like, wait, what?
Right.
No, I don't think so. So, yeah, we believe that especially the pyramids in Egypt were, ancient civilization and then found by the modern Egyptians or modern ancient Egyptians, however you want to put it.
Right. Yeah, the ancient.
The 2,000 years ago Egyptians.
Right.
That they actually discovered it.
They just discovered it and kind of moved in. That's not their stuff.
And the most pyramids that we had actually mentioned first are in the Sudan.
Yeah.
They built over 200 pyramids, and I believe that's more than the rest of the pyramids worldwide.
Yeah.
So, and they're finding more and more of these pyramids. In fact, the whole thing that sparked this whole conversation was a video that I actually sent to Bob about a week ago, that they have discovered a pyramid here, the beginnings of a step pyramid here in America.
Right.
And they were building a dam, so they were digging out the lake portion of where they were going to build this dam, and they discovered the beginnings of the step pyramid, and they said, screw it, we'll build the dam anyway.
Right.
So now that whole step pyramid section is actually underwater and will never be explored because it's underwater.
Yeah.
So it's such a shame that, even with Cahokia Mounds, how long has it been? You used to play on the mounds as a kid because it was in the middle of a subdivision.
Yeah, there was just a
and what was it, the 90s, 80s or 90s, they decided, this is probably
80s.
A historic place. We should do something with this.
And the state bought everyone out and then made them move their houses or tore their houses down and then turned it back into a field, basically.
So, it's ridiculous how we just ignored our past cultures and whatnot. So.
Right.
So the Chinese pyramids And there are over 40 pyramids in China, mainly in Shaanxi province. And those are where tombs for early emperors, and they were intentionally covered with vegetation to resemble natural hills.
Right.
Now, the whole covered in vegetation, they've been doing LiDAR in Africa and finding all these ancient civilizations using the LiDAR because it measures, up and down. You can see through the canopy.
Right.
So
there was a kid recently who told scientists that he thinks he's discovered part of the Mayan culture that no one ever knew about because he was following lines, and he said, "Hey, if you guys have your LiDAR thing, you might want to go check out this jungle, and I bet you'll find something." And they found a whole city
really
that no one had ever known about before.
Wow.
So,
what was he following? Like the ley lines, or
like where old cart paths used to be.
Oh, gotcha.
And he saw ones that went from the city down into the jungle, and then they came out again in another city. And he thought, well, obviously somewhere in here has to be another thing. So they found an entire city in there.
Wow.
Using LiDAR.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So the tallest is the Great Pyramid of Giza, originally 146.6 meters tall. It remains the tallest ever built. But we have another fact about that later on that has to do with the Pyramid of Giza. But the step pyramids in the Americas, unlike Egyptian pyramids, Mesoamerican pyramids, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Olmecs, were built in step structures, often with temples on top, rather than with tombs inside. Well, see, they say rather with tombs inside to the Egyptians, but the Egyptians never had tombs inside.
No.
That was a common misconception.
Yeah, the Valley of the Kings.
The Valley of the Kings is where all the tombs were found.
Right. There's never been a mummy discovered inside of the tomb, inside of the pyramids, the Great Pyramids.
So, Monk's Mound in Cahokia is a massive earthen pyramid built by the Mississippian culture. And they're actually one of the lost civilizations of the world also.
Right.
They just disappeared pretty much overnight.
Right.
So they literally, what was it, within a 2-year period or something like that? They just poof gone. And when their culture was discovered, they literally found baskets half full of grain and tools, just everything, just
walls, like clothes,
like it was a mass exodus.
Like they just left all at once.
So
like somebody pulled up, opened the door, and like, hey, come on, let's go for a ride.
Yep.
And this took all the people.
And that's a really cool place. That is a really, really neat place. I'm sure Bob will throw in a picture or two from the top of the mound or something. So, but yeah, that's a really neat place, and it's just up the road. And I don't think enough local people understand the historical significance of it. They think, oh, it's Cahokia Mounds. We hear about our whole lives, you know.
Right,
I literally did not go until when you and I went on our third podcast a year and a half ago. That's the first time I'd ever been there.
Wow. Isn't that crazy?
At 51 years old.
Yeah.
That's the first, or 50 years old. That's the first time I've ever been there.
They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, the mountains here, and that's like an important thing for humanity. It's a very important thing. And you go to that interpretive center, like their museum, and there's like 5 people in there.
It's been closed every time I've been there, so I don't even get to see it.
And it has like animatronics like Disneyland.
Really?
It has like all this cool stuff in there. Yeah.
Yep. Apparently those guys like the look of the live because we have our logo underneath of it and everything.
Oh, nice.
So I noticed it looked pretty good on the phone. I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So many ancient cultures used limestone, adobe, and stone bricks and built in stages, improving technology over centuries. And with some pyramids, they were used as royal tombs. Others were religion. Others were used as astronomical or administrative functions. And why the pyramids were built where they were built is, they built a lot with proximity to rivers.
Yeah.
So a lot of them were built near major rivers for easy transport of the materials to sustain large populations. But that's the thing that Bob and I, they're not going to transport these big-ass rocks. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Bob and I, like we were just talking about earlier. So, yeah, obviously your civilization is there. I don't think it was built there because of the river.
I don't think so either.
Unless they were built there for the energy coming off the river.
Right.
Because the moving water would create energy.
Exactly. But, I mean, if the Great Pyramids were built out of, like, lunchbox size bricks, right? Then I'm all on board 100%.
Right.
Right? Because obviously old people, old in antiquity, people with like wood and bronze stones could cut a lunchbox size marble block that weighs like 80 pounds and then carry it over there and stack millions of them. But these blocks are as big as my house.
Right.
Like
you're telling me like 100,000 slaves drug all these stones one at a time?
You couldn't do that now.
No.
With modern equipment, you couldn't pick up one of these stones and move it 60 miles over to the thing. Like just forget about it.
It literally would have taken them, like, you figure what's the best they're going to get, 100, 200 yards a day?
Yeah.
To move these stones.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, and the theory is that they use logs, right? They put logs down and they rolled, and then...
But the logs would have been crushed.
What logs? In Egypt? Where did you find
Well, it might have been green back then,
right?
but still, I mean, the logs would have been crushed under the weight.
Oh, yeah, easily. It would roll one time, and then just like toothpaste, it was just smeared underneath this, 60-ton block of granite. Like, there's no reality where you could tell me that people with Bronze Age stone tools cut with laser precision and fitted all of these blocks together that weigh as much as a house. That I don't care. Neil deGrasse Tyson could fall over dead trying to explain it to me, and it will never make any sense.
Right.
They put a little ducky on it and floated it down the river. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It weighs too much. It weighs too much for people to handle.
Right.
There has to be some kind of anti-gravity technology. There has to be some kind of precise diamond or laser cutting that's going. Like, it's too much for me to understand that people who haven't even figured out how light works.
Right.
They can't even make a lantern, but they could build
a pyramid.
Giant white polished stone. Originally, when they first discovered the pyramids, they were bright alabaster white, and they had no seams on the outside.
Right.
They were perfectly smooth, and on top of the pyramid was this gigantic gold deity thing. And they said that at certain times of the year, if the wind was blowing right, the air above it would glow like a plasma ball.
And there's rumors that actually the Vatican has a lot of that outside material and the toppers. So, we never know what the Vatican's got stashed away down there.
These people, wearing a loincloth and carrying around a wooden knife.
Exactly.
Obviously, they built this. You know what I mean? It's like so foolish.
So obviously the pyramids were built on bedrock.
Yeah.
Because they weighed so much, they didn't want them to sink, so they were built directly onto the bedrock. And then they believe there were access to the quarry sites, but when you're talking about maybe some of the smaller pyramids, but like the Great Pyramids were, like you said, 60 miles away.
Yeah, there's no way.
Religious and cosmic significance. The pyramid's shape often symbolizes sacred connection to the heaven, aligning with the idea of reaching the gods. Astronomy. Many of the pyramids, they line up with the night sky at different times of the year.
Right.
A lot of them do line up with Orion's belt as it comes up over the horizon.
Exactly.
So, trade and culture. Now, they were major centers of commerce, obviously, because the stone structure was usually built near a large city.
Right.
So, obviously, but I don't think that plays into the actual pyramid itself. They were built for other purposes. And they believe that they were just a symbol of power of the empire at the time. Mm-hmm. Hey, look at us, we got a big pyramid. But I don't think it goes to that either. I think that, I think that Bob and I talk about the ancient civilizations that built them. And I think they were built for those ancient civilizations. Yeah. And we talk about that all the time. So, we did ask ChatGPT to give us conspiracy theories or theories. Right. But obviously a lot of these theories don't align with what Bob and I believe. But we encourage you to go down that rabbit hole, come up with your own theory.
Yeah, we've come to these theories over years of theoretically, like, how could this have been made? You know what I mean? In that time period, pre-BC terms we're talking about, like these people, how is it possible? And then you have to think, everything is on the table until you can take it off the table. Right. So then you're like, okay, 300 dudes with some sticks.
Right.
Okay, off the table.
Yeah.
Right? No.
And then you got to go with what you're left with,
right.
and put it together.
But then these scientists refuse to do that. They're like, well, they had to have done it. Like, that must have been their faith. And I don't think so. I think it's the other way around.
I think I personally think that we had some other kind of technology pre-flood, and we lost everything, washed basically back to the Stone Age, and science went down a different route.
Exactly.
I think we were heading this direction, and the flood happened, and we went this direction.
Yeah.
So that's my theory on it.
Right.
So now the step pyramids that are built in like South America and whatnot, they are actually, the way they're built, they are made to withstand earthquakes. Mm-hmm. So they're seismically stable.
Right. The angle of the pyramid is like a pile of sand. Basically, it doesn't degrade.
Right.
The weight lays on the next layer in a perfect pattern, and the base takes all of the weight from all of the pyramid. Yep. So the earthquake has no effect on it.
Now there's speculation as the pyramids were aligned to other religious sites, or that they were even built for the gods and the way the sun rose and the moon rose over the seasons.
Right.
So I'm surprised that didn't close. We don't have the wiggler on. Put that on real quick, just in case.
Well, in my opinion, and I know this is not a mainstream opinion, but I believe that the people came out of the desert into the Memphis, Nile region.
Right.
Saw all of this stuff and was like, oh man, these people had it together.
Yeah.
Right. So then they started reading the hieroglyphs and the pictures that were carved on the stuff, and they're like, okay, so they worship this guy. Legit. Let's go. Let's
do this.
We're worshiping this guy now, right?
Right.
I want this flaming sword that rains fire down from the sky. So
right.
This is what we're doing now. Take your cheetah cloth. Forget all that. We're doing this now. You know what I mean? That's what I believe happened. They discovered it and then incorporated it into their religion, and then it became the Egyptian thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because other places at this same time in this same sort of region of Africa were living in grass shacks.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't even have clean water, in the modern era. And these people built laser cut granite blocks and stacked them up with...
Especially the ones that we had discussed before, the different ones that are in like... what was the name of the one that you said that they fit together like freaking Tetris blocks?
Puma Punku.
There you go, Puma Punku.
Yeah.
You can't even get a piece of paper in between them.
Yeah.
They're that stacked that perfectly.
Perfect. Yeah.
You cannot even get a piece of paper in between.
Right. And
you're telling me people did that by hand on every block, and they're not perfect blocks.
They're not blocks, right?
They look like, you look at the wall, it looks like Tetris.
It looks like blobs.
And then you brought up in our last time we recorded this about how they have doors there that weigh like 20 tons, and you can move them with one finger.
Just push it with just the weight of your hand will pivot this giant 20-ton door that's made out of stone, and it has stone hinges, and they believe that there's a capstone like lock mechanism that's missing. So because when you close the door, it fits with like thousandths of an inch tolerance,
right.
And there's like a pattern on it. So that what they believe is that you could actually take like a marble block and stick it in this door, and people on the other side could
can't open
smash it with a battering ram all they want to, and it fits so tight that the force is absorbed from the granite.
And the only time I've seen that much precision is with recent laser cutting. Have you seen the laser cuttings where they slide the piece into the other and you can't even tell it's cut anymore?
Oh yeah.
But we're talking close to that type of precision, laser cut precision.
Right. Thousands of years ago. Right.
Now they believe that a lot of these pyramids were built on the ley lines, and that's the thing that Bob and I believe in, was a lot of these pyramids were built for energy.
Right.
And not just like spiritual energy. We're talking
dark
real
matter.
Energy.
Right.
Because
every component that we have in the universe is made up of a majority of dark matter. And we only know about the matter that we can see, because then we can catalog it. But the matter that we can't see with our eyes, things that don't reflect photons, that stuff exists. We know it has to, because stars can interact with it.
Right.
Black holes interact with it.
Right.
So dark matter is out there. Well, dark energy is also a thing. So if dark energy is orbiting the Earth in these patterns, the patterns of the dark energy line up with ley lines, and the ley lines connect Stonehenge and the pyramids of Giza and Cahokia Mounds and the Olmec temples, and it all matches in these lines that go around the Earth.
Yep. So
that's another whole crazy thing.
and the mathematical precision of like the Great Pyramid of Giza and Teotihuacan, they have mathematic ratios like pi and the golden ratio. And that's why we believe that, I mean, this is advanced geometry.
Right.
That's why we believe that they were built by a pre-ancient civilization.
Yeah, because it was thousands of years later that the Fibonacci sequence and those things were discovered. You know what I mean? So how can this structure be built using, Da Vinci codes and
not only that,
the Fibonacci sequence?
In one of our past podcasts, the ones we talk about the times when things happen that you didn't realize happened.
Yeah.
They didn't even study that kind of stuff in Harvard until, like the 1600s. Right. They didn't start doing advanced mathematics.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right.
How has it come to that? Now, many of them had subterranean chambers. They had hidden tunnel complexes, and this, they believed that maybe they were gateways to another realm, or they had secret societies.
Right.
And despite being built by cultures with no known contact, pyramids shared similar stepped or smooth designs, and it raises questions about a lost global civilization.
Right. They were wiped out by the flood.
Now, some pyramids like those in Egypt and Pumapunku use massive, precisely cut stones that would be difficult to replicate even today, once again hinting at a lost technology.
Yeah.
And then some suggest from our worldwide energy grid, the locations were chosen for their resonance with the Earth's magnetic field.
Right.
Which is a big thing that Tesla was into. And Tesla said 369, if you can figure out the significance of 369,
right,
you can figure out the universe.
Right.
He believed that 369 was important numbers, and once you figured those out, you had everything figured out.
Yeah, that's how the Tesla coil works. As the windings of it, the energy increases exponentially across the windings, so you could turn 9 volts into thousands of volts in just a couple of wraps.
And that's one of the things is, they believe that they were energy generators of some sort. So, let's see. Now, there's speculation that they're remnants of Atlantis. And they were built by survivors, spread, advanced knowledge across the world. And we've touched on Atlantis a lot of times too here. Lost civilization, that would have maybe had this technology.
Yeah.
So, hidden hieroglyphics and untranslated scripts. Now, there's strange markings in the pyramids, such as those in China or the Bosnian pyramid, suggest unknown writing systems or even message from ancient forgotten language. With that being said, I know that one of the people on the Doge team, a younger guy, actually used scanning technology and AI to read ancient texts that they couldn't unfold.
Yeah. Right.
And he actually got like a $700,000 grant for that.
Right.
So,
the scroll was burned up and you couldn't unfold it without it disintegrating.
Right.
And he figured out how to scan it and then reassemble it as a actual
as a whole, yeah. Now,
crazy.
A lot of times around these pyramids, they have magnetic anomalies, which also lead to the theory of, natural power centers. So, and the water sources, once again, we discussed near rivers, but they're also built a lot of times on top of aquifers or underground rivers.
Right.
So, once again, leaning to the fact of energy flowing underneath the pyramids, and...
They discovered that the Great Pyramid used to have a aquifer that flowed into the chamber in the bottom of it. But an earthquake at some point in the past caused a collapse, and then now that aquifer flows in a different direction.
Huh.
But originally, one of the big chambers inside the Great Pyramid used to fill up, and then it would spill over into the side pipes, and then it would drain, and it would keep doing that, and it made like a resonance. But they don't understand how that happened.
And then once again, it kind of touches on how, the pyramids are being found under thick vegetation and whatnot in different areas of the world. Now, the funny thing is, the disputed pyramid in Bosnia is claimed to be the largest in the world, yet mainstream archaeology largely dismiss it because if it is real, it would rewrite history.
Yeah.
Because everybody, the pyramid of the sun is supposed to be the biggest one, but if this one in Bosnia, and they're finding ones under mountains and things,
right? They've been covered over.
They've been covered over by dirt. So, what else do we have? Unexplained interior temperatures. There's different temperature fluctuations inside the temples. So, what we say different as in it shouldn't be that temperature at all. Because if you get underground, the temperature drops down to like 50 degrees or something like that. Right. But we're talking major temperature fluctuations. So, also, metallic residue and conductivity. Traces of mica and other conductive materials were found in the pyramids, suggest they have an electrical function. Back to the electric of the, all the ancient pyramids. We're not just talking one pyramid. We're talking a lot of the pyramids are found with this mica and electrical material inside the pyramids.
Yeah.
So, and the echo chambers in the pyramids are built for resonant frequencies. And also a lot of the pyramids in South America were built on the outside to have resonant frequencies. So you could stand on the top of the steps on some of these pyramids and you can talk and people can hear you all the way at the other side of the courtyard.
Right.
So not only were they, resonant for sound inside, but outside on some of them. So the whole thing about, being for energy and resonant frequencies, is a totally justified theory.
Yeah.
If you're going down that road, So, and legends from different cultures, from the Mayans to the Egyptians, speak of, the ancient people instructing people to build the pyramids, suggesting a common influence. So, and then also you've got the Orion correlation with the layouts that we touched on earlier. Orion's belt. They line up with Orion's belt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's another thing that's a possibility.
It's crazy.
So, so there are unfinished and destroyed pyramids out there also, like the one that Bob and I had mentioned earlier here in America, that they discovered that they were just starting on it. So they were at the bottom layer of it, getting ready to build up, and rather than keeping it and researching it and investigating it, they went,
covered it up and kept on working.
We'll just go ahead and flood this lake. Yeah. So
crazy.
Oh, so that concludes round 2 of pyramids that unfortunately we lost all the audio and the video for, but but this gives Bob an opportunity. We did a little earlier tonight, so it'll give Bob an opportunity to go ahead and edit it if he wants to this evening.
Try to get something done.
But he got a lot of the stuff downloaded, the pictures and stuff like that, but unfortunately was unable to edit it.
Yeah, the audio was terrible. So.
Right. Don't forget Patreon. If you become a $5 Patreon member, we send you a postcard every month.
Yeah, they're out.
They have been shipped out, so our Patreon members should be receiving those too soon. All 5 of them.
Yeah.
Kim's getting 2 this month because she didn't get last month, but she'll be getting 2 of those. Yeah. Also, check us out on Teespring if you want some cool merchandise with our cool logo right here. Yeah. If you're watching on TikTok, the cool logo. Also, let's see. If you have any stories, we always ask you guys for stories. If you have any anything unexplained or anything that you want to, tell us about. Did I say Teespring? I said grab merch, but I didn't say where to find it. Teespring.
Yeah.
And if you're on TikTok and you go to YouTube, there's a link here on the YouTube page that you can click, and it'll take you to Teespring, and you can get all that cool merch.
It's in the comments or in the description of the video.
And the some of the merch is rare. We'll call it rare, because that's only put out for the people that like our meet and greet. Yeah. Only the people that show up at our meet and greet will have it. Also, there is 1 room left for the meet and greet.
Yeah,
and that is the 4-person room.
That's awesome.
So right now we have Robin and Amy, myself, you and Angie, and then M rented the Elsa suite. So the only one left is the one upstairs, the 4-person room. So, but I was thinking if we could get Erica and her mom together with 2 other people, because I know Erica and her mom want to come. So if we could find 2 other people to help them out and get them together, we can get some more people in there. So, and if you're on TikTok and you're looking for us on YouTube, go to Project Investigation Collaboration. We'll come right up. Once again, if you want to send us your stories or even podcast ideas, we'll take ideas. We're always looking for a new idea for something that we haven't covered. We're getting up to we got to be getting up to
300 videos.
300 videos, but 80 podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, not 80. Let's see, 4 months to 16, so 50, 60. We're in the 70s as far as actual podcast episodes.
Yeah.
So, and we're trying not to repeat ourselves.
Right.
So
we did Who Built the Pyramids a year ago.
Right.
And so this is like an addendum to that.
Right.
It's a little bit deeper, but on a different path.
Right. Like, why were they built? What, what are the theories behind them? Why were they built in the locations they were built? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Rather
than who built them and whatnot. So, let's see. Bob's email, if you want to email us, or you can, if you're on TikTok, send us a TikTok message, or you can email. Bob is the Real Veritas Project at gmail.com, and I'm an Investigator Todd, investigator.todd.paranormal@gmail.com. Yep, that's a lot. That's a mouthful. Follow Bob on all his other socials. He is R.S. Curtis, and he is also the Real Veritas Project on everything, and I am Investigator Todd on everything. We're both on Instagram, Facebook, all kinds of stuff.
So we're all over.
We're all over the place. Somebody asked me just the other night, they're like, is there a platform that you are not on?
No.
I said, there's not much.
I don't know. Yeah, I pretty much joined all the stuff, really. I'm even on the Red Note. If you want.
Yeah, I'm on Red Note too, which we need to share Red Notes.
If you want to go over there. Yeah,
so.
I'm on the, what is that one? Not the Truth, but the other one. I don't know.
Whenever I'm on Clapper too.
Oh yeah.
So.
They were talking about shutting down the Instagram at one point, so I moved all my stuff over to the other one.
No idea.
I don't remember what it is. Odyssey.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
So there's an exact copy of the Veritas Project on YouTube, but it's on Odyssey.
Speaking of, okay, remember we were talking about how you got beat up over the Jack the Ripper?
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
So, did you see the comment that I posted? Because I went back and I watched that again and I looked at the comments. The people that crabbed at us thought we were the other political group that has the close name to ours. And I said, you do realize we are not them and that we're a paranormal group out of St. Louis. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize that. Because they said, you guys are out of your wheelhouse on this. And the other one was like, oh, yeah, you need to go back to investigating the government. And I'm like, wait a minute. You guys realize we are not that group, right? And, oh, I didn't realize that. So they were harping on us because they thought we were the government conspiracy group and instead of a paranormal group. So, hey, is what it is. So, once again, thank you guys for joining us. If you're catching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and, like the video, comment, share it, ring that notification bell so you can find out every time we jump on. Don't forget, on August 11th is our second annual meet and greet. Last year was an absolute blast.
Yeah, we had a great
time. Limp Mansion. It's one of the 20 most haunted places, sometimes the most top 10 haunted places, depending on the list you look at. Places in America. It is a good time. We had a fantastic time. And what we'll do is we'll go to Cahokia Mountains, which we just spoke about.
Right.
We'll go to Cahokia Mountains in the morning, go catch some lunch, go check into the hotel. Once we get our keys, the staff leaves. The place is ours for the rest of the night. And checkout's like 11 o'clock the next day. So plenty of time to get some snoozing in after your long, late investigation. So.
Yeah, we'll sleep in, then we'll go hit up the gift shop.
Yep, we'll go hit up the gift shop, and then we're going to get tattoos. A bunch of us are going to get tattoos.
Yeah.
So, but once again, thank you guys for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. And remember,
stay curious.
And find the truth, and we'll catch you next time. Bye, everybody.
See ya.